Hello, my name is Kiriath, and today we're going to have a little chat about what we might see on Saturday. So we've already had one live preview from Games Workshop, and we're due another one. It is in fact in 2 days, it is on the 4th of April, and I kind of thought that the first one would give us some small indication as to what we might see from the second one, which is not really how these things worked, but for some reason I was like, well, they're splitting it into two. It's supposed to be a massive one. They did say it was like the most stuff that ever showed off at Adepticon. 4 hours of reveals, of which we've had about 2, give or take half an hour. And so I thought, get a good feel for it. Get a good feel for what's going to go on. I mean, out of the first one, we got the lion, we got the battle cattle, we got Fabius Bile, we got some new animated stuff, we got some more Lumineth Realm Lord stuff too. What else did we get? We got some Lord of the Rings news. We got the new Warcry warband. You know, we got a decent amount of stuff. Obviously, it's not like there was something there for everyone, although in fairness, when it comes to these reveals, there never is. And I know that a few people were disappointed in terms of the hype generated versus what was actually delivered. Although I think it's more fair to wait until we see the rest of the actual reveals first. Now, of course, if we get to the end of Saturday and there's still people who just got absolutely nothing, at that point you're pretty entitled to be a bit pissy about it, to be totally honest. But we don't necessarily know just yet what else we're going to see. But there are a few things that I wouldn't necessarily predict, but feel like I wouldn't be surprised if we did see. I was kind of hoping to have more of an idea based off the first one, but I don't know that that's actually the case. All I know is that if it's going to be suitably big, and if it is going to be like a massive thing, as was advertised for Adepticon, there needs to be stuff that's significant again. Can't just have the significant stuff limited to one, and there needs to be plenty to go around. Now, there was a distinct lack of Xenos stuff that we saw on Saturday. You could argue that that is because there's always a distinct lack of Xenos stuff just in general, which you're not wrong about, but I have a feeling, or at least I would like to see some news about Illuminor Xeraz. See, there was rumours, there was talk a while ago now of a new model for Illuminor Xeraz, and we now have at least an idea of what the last Psychic Awakening book will be, which would be Pariah. Now, of course, my mind immediately turned to Necrons, because Necron Pariahs were cool, and I liked them. But, of course, it may not necessarily be Pariahs themselves. They may not be making a return. It could be a reference to someone else. Harlequins and Deathwatch, it looks, are going to be involved in that. If that's the only book, then chances are it's going to be them. So, when it comes to potential Xenos stuff, my immediate thought was, well, Pariahs makes sense. But also something else that makes sense is Illuminor Xeraz, because he's supposed to be getting a new model. That's been a rumour for a while. That's something that was told ages ago. It's supposed to be quite a big, chunky model. Now, it makes sense for Illuminor Xeraz to come back in new, chunky form with some new friends. Technically new friends, because I believe Pariahs were completely retconned out, in which case that would mean they're new, as opposed to old units that are now coming back, even though that is what they would be. That would make sense to me, and I would like that to be a thing. So, that being on the cards for Saturday, for this upcoming live preview, I don't think it's completely unreasonable to think that maybe we might see Illuminor Xeraz this week. I would like to see that. I think also, I was expecting to see the bikes and speeder that we saw in that leak that did the rounds a little while ago, the hilariously pixelated one that looked too intentional to be anything other than someone taking the mickey. Although, as someone pointed out, if it was like a properly tiny picture that had been blown up, then yes, that could also result in that sort of pixelation. I don't think you're wrong, but I also still feel like it was someone taking the piss. That I'm surprised we didn't see, because I think there was enough info in that picture for them to go, oh, okay, well, people have guessed, people know. And generally speaking, if you have an image that is of decent enough quality, things will be bumped up, things will be moved slightly so that the Warhammer community site gets the majority of the hype traffic as opposed to just a random pleb, like me. So I'm surprised we didn't see that, but since we didn't see that last time, if we're going to see it anytime soon, I assume it would be this time. Something that I did think to myself would have been amazing and a little bit troll-like would be if we didn't just get 30k lion, but we also got 40k lion as well. That would be pretty funny. That is obviously incredibly unlikely. I don't think that's going to happen. But can you imagine? Can you imagine if we've waited this long for the lion in both universes? Both settings, you know what I mean? And then suddenly, both of them announced 1 week after the other. It would be quality. They're not going to do that. But it would be cool if they did. And it would also fit in well with bikes and speeders if those were announced too. Really, it's surprising just how little indication there is. I at least thought we might get some sort of hint, some sort of late indication, but so far it doesn't look like we have, and it's just making me extra curious. Maybe more stuff for Harlequins. Perhaps there's going to be some sort of news about just anything Xenos in nature, but of course we're going to have some Primaris stuff, right? That's the thing I'll be surprised about. If we have no Primaris stuff, then I'll be shocked. I'm assuming we will, but it just depends on the context of it, whether it is that leaked thing that we saw earlier, whether it's something brand new, which I'd be surprised about, but it's a tricky one. It's a tricky one, this one, because there's so much stuff flying around. There's so many predictions and so many rumours that could be a thing, but also might not be a thing. My safe bets are something Primaris-based, but that's not really all that difficult to predict. My unsafe bet would be Illuminor Zeras. I would like to see it. I'm reasonably sure we'll see something to do with it. Beyond that, I'm not sure what else there is. There's got to be loads. And this is the thing that gets me. There's got to be loads. And so much stuff was already leaked. Like the first preview, it was rife with leaks. Before it went live, like the 4 main things that were going to be shown off were already doing the rounds. And that surprised me. But what surprised me more is that has not continued. That is not just led into leaks for this upcoming one as well. Which means there's got to be something significant going on. It's just trying to work out what it is. I reckon leave your best guesses in the comments down below. Have a think, have a wonder, have a ponder about what we could possibly see. And let's do a little poll and see who gets closest to the truth. If you've got anything wacky and outlandish you want to throw out there, then by all means do that. My wacky outlandish prediction. I'm going to say the lion in 40k as well. That's going to be there's no chance this is happening, but it'd be amazing if it did. I'm going to throw that out as my wacky one, as my ridiculous one, of the no chance of it happening, but that's my ridiculous prediction. Let me know what yours is in the comments down below, and we will find out what's happening on Saturday. Not long now, only a couple of days. Tomorrow's Friday. Jesus, this whole lockdown isolation thing is really screwing my ability to differentiate one day to the other. I didn't realise it was Thursday. I thought it was Wednesday today. But there you go. Apparently not. Oh, Astartes Part 5 is out at 10 o'clock. We might do a reaction thing to that. That'd be fun. So yeah. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, what we're going to see, what you'd like to see, what is likely to be seen, and what you don't want to see. And we'll find out soon enough. Feel free to click all the things, Patreon, video, subscribe, all that stuff. Click it if you like, don't click it if you don't want to. There's an affiliate link in the description for Element Games. You know how it works. If you use it, I get something for sending you that way. You save money on top of what you would have spent at Games Workshop. You were going to buy it anyway. It's a nice way to support the channel. I leave it in your capable hands. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.